gonna do a video to talk about the worst consoles ever. It's something a lot of people talking about it. Good channels like PP Master DX and XX Mysterious Man XX and even Guru X. So I decided to make a video to talk about the worst consoles I've ever seen in all my life. So let's start. First, in the top 10, number 10 is the Mega Drive. This is a terrible console. It made Bubsy be a bad game on it. It was much better than the Super Nintendo, even though that console also sucks. But they made the graphics worse, the sound effects bad, and the music annoying on the version for the Mega Drive. And it's made by Sega, which have Sonic games are on it, and therefore they don't have good games. There's almost no good games on this console, so I'm not gonna waste my time with other things. So let's talk about the others. At number 9 is the Game Boy. This console is totally gray and black, the graphics, and it hurt the eyes. And while you're using it to play some game, you can barely see what's happening because you need like some big light to show you what's happening. Otherwise, it's so dark that you can't understand anything and you'll die. It also had a Game Boy camera, like some people talking about, and it sucks because it have a scary Easter egg, and that shit haunted me a lot when I was like 10 or 9. And as I know, there's a Bubsy 2 game for this, for one of these Game Boys, but I don't know which one it is. Anyway, at number 8 is the Atari 2600. This console sucks. It only runs at 144p, and that's horrible because it's the worst quality possible. The graphics itself are really bad, and they can't consider it as 8-bit. I'd say it's 1-bit. The graphics are even worse than games like Undertale, which uses terrible graphics. Therefore, it's not good at graphics nor gameplay. All the games are really simple and they're not cool, not fun. The only good game on the Atari 2600 is the Attack of the Mutant Camels. Despite this, the rest is horrible. And there's a lot of porn games for Atari. That sucks because porn sucks. So I just don't want good game on this console. At number 7 is the Wii. This console made by Nintendo, it's terrible too. The controls are horrible because you have to use that piece of shit. You have to swing it all around to move the character and make its attacks. It's terrible. Looks like you're fucking fapping, and that's horrible because people who do this must die. You know this. The graphics are also not too good. Really not good. Definitely. At number 6 is first Xbox. It was the rival of PlayStation 2, and of course we know that PlayStation 2 was much better. This console have much more worse graphics than PlayStation 2 has. Even the Call of Duty games released for PlayStation 2 had better graphics than Halo. That piece of shit of a game I already talking about it on my channel. And this the control is not good, unlike the other Xbox games, which are actually good, but this one don't have good control. Definitely not. Number 5 is the NES, the first Nintendo console ever made, and one of the worst Nintendo consoles ever made. The graphics are not as bad as Atari, but they still horrible. They run at 240p, and the pixel art is terrible. It's the same way as Undertale is, therefore it's not fun. Now the gameplay. The gameplay of most of these games are really simple and not fun at all. Especially this was where the first Mario game was released, and Mario is a piece of shit which rips off Bubsy. And number 4 is Philips CDI. This is other horrible console. It's not made by Nintendo but licensed by it. It was made by Philips, so producer of some things like that TV things, the shit where you put VHS, whatever. This console is horrible. The gameplay of the games are much more worse than we ever know. It's the worst 2D game of the list because, and this is where a shitty memes came from, like the Zelda meme. Zelda is horrible. And then the Hotel Mario, also horrible. Is this console fault for this annoying, shitty, unfunny memes? So fuck this console. And number 3 is Wii U. It's just a rehash version of the Wii, but they added this shit pad, screen pad or whatever the fuck is that, with terrible controls and even worse games. And this is where the shitty game Splatoon was released. Splatoon sucks. And despite this, I don't have much things to say about the Wii U because it's just a rehash of the Wii. And number 2 is the Nintendo Switch. This is terrible console. It was released 2017 and it had bad games. It have games like Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and we know these games are bad. The graphics don't look too much spectacular whatsoever, and it's now both portable game and normal console. That's what they say. But as you can use a NES and Game Boy at the same time to play the same thing if you want, but with better graphics, of course. Now we reach number 1, and it is the Nintendo 64. This console is horrible. I can't find too much good games. I just found like Doom 64 and Superman 64, some of the only good games, because there's no Crash Bandicoot or Spyro or even Bubsy 3D for it. It was rival of PlayStation 1, and we know how much PlayStation 1 did better. It had much better games, and the graphics are much better, because on the Nintendo 64 all the textures they're really blurry. But on PlayStation they use pixelated shit, and use pixelated shit. Now the textures is much better than blurry textures. Not just this, most of these games have no voice acting, and which wasn't hard to make because it was the same time PlayStation 1. Oh, it is made by Nintendo, therefore it was really hard to them to make because they stuck at these things really bad. And the rival of Bubsy 3D was in this console. It was Mario 64, more like Nigario 69. This game is horrible, and I'm gonna do a review of this soon. And I'm gonna review some of the games on these other consoles. That's about it. Bye for now.